Hey, what is up, you guys? Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, I'm your host, DZ the Crochet Lady. And tonight, my friend Sherry here is modeling these wonderful hand warmers, okay? These are Tunisian crochet, and this is kind of like the copycat version of the CC hats that you see in the store. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got 2 rows of single crochet we're going to start out with, and you're going to want to start off with an odd number and make sure that your chain is long enough to go around your wrist comfortably so you have enough room. You don't want it too tight and you don't want it to be too loose. So this is the copycat version of the CC hats that we see in Michael's and in Hobby Lobby, just Tunisian crochet style. So we're going to have some rows of purl and knit and then purl, and I'll show you guys how to do this in just 1 second. Over in the crochet corner, we're going to need a Tunisian crochet hook, and if you have this wonderful yarn here, this is Lion brand. This is called Tutti Frutti, and you want to use a size 6.5 or a 7. I think I used a 7 for this pattern, so whatever you've got on hand. I'll see you in just 1 sec.
Single crochet starting in the second chain from the hook. And in each chain to the end. Alright, I'm going to pick up my last chain. And we're not going to chain 1, we'll just turn. And we're going to single crochet into the same stitch. And then you'll single crochet in each stitch down. So I'll see you right over here. Alright, so I'm going to pick up my last loops, my last stitch here, and make a single crochet. And we're not gonna chain, we're just gonna turn. Now we're back on the right side. So we've already got 1 loop on the hook, that counts as stitch 1, and we're just gonna pick up a loop underneath each set of horizontal loops. So go ahead and pick up all of your loops. I'll see you right over here. Alright, I'm just going to pick up my last loop here. And then we're going to do a normal close. So chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2 loops back to the beginning of your row. So we've completed our foundation row of single crochet, row 1 of single crochet, and then we have row 2, which is basic Afghan stitch. So we're ready to move on to row 3, and we're going to repeat row 3 3 times. So we're going to do it this 1 time and repeat 3 times. Purl stitch and the first stitch. Oops. Knit stitch and the following stitch. Tunisian purl stitch, Tunisian knit stitch. You're going to repeat this to the end, ending with Tunisian purl stitch and then Tunisian simple stitch in your end loops. Okay, so let's make our last purl stitch. Your Tunisian simple stitch in your end loops. And each row is going to close with a normal close. Chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2 loops back to the beginning. Once you've completed 3 more rows, we'll be ready to start row 4. Okay, so now we're ready to start row 4. Let's make a purl stitch And I said first stitch earlier, I meant next stitch. Hopefully you guys caught that. Alright, and we're just going to make a purl stitch in each stitch across. But what we're going to do, instead of using this left loop to make our purl stitch, we're going to always make our purl stitch in the right loop. And if you do it the other way, I'll show you what happens in just a second here. So if you catch this loop here, it crosses your stitch over and it deforms the knit stitch formation. So you want to make sure that you grab your right loop when you're making your purl stitch after your rib rows. Okay, so continue to purl stitch all the way down, making a normal close back to the beginning. Okay, so we've made the first row of row 4, so we're going to repeat that 3 more times, and then once you're done with that, you're going to repeat row 3 4 times until your item gets to be the length that you want, and then we'll be ready to do the finishing part. So I'll see you in just a few rows. Alright, look at our item. So we are ready to sew this up. So go ahead and pull your yarn through. Leave enough tail for sewing, and then we're just going to snip off. And then get your needle threaded. Alright, let's get ready to sew our item. I've got my needle threaded, and we're just going to match up loop for loop. So bring your item together like this. And I'm going to go through these loops right here, just like this, and just, tighten your item. I'm going to go through one more time. And then you're going to continue to sew down until you get to where it's comfortable for your thumb. So I'll see you in just a sec. Alright, so I've sewn to where my thumb opening is going to stop, and then from here you just want to count how many stitches, matching loops, until you want to make your thumb closed up. So go ahead and put your thumb in there, see if it feels good, and if it does, go ahead and continue to sew to the end. Okay, our item is sewn up, and I'm just going to join this just like the top, nothing fancy. I insert my needle into those loops on the bottom band, through my little end loops because I don't make a slip knot, and I'm just going to go through that 2 times. Okay, and then weave your item up. Okay, let's get ready to make the thumb hole, and you probably might want to size down a couple of sizes and hooks just so your thumb is, fits nice and not too loose. There's a couple different ways that you can go about this. I'm just going to show you how I did it. So let's start with a single crochet, or a chain 1, which is going to count for a single crochet. And single crochet around. You want to make the same number of single crochet for each thumb. Now when you get to this point right here, where you have like this little middle part that's not really a stitch, it's up to you on whether you're going to crochet in that or not. I'm not going to crochet in that. What I'm going to do is crochet in the stitch right before, and I'm just going to skip right over to the next set of loops. And that gap is automatically closed. Alright, so I'll see you right over here where we started. Okay, so we're almost back to where we started, and I'm going to skip that little part this time, come over to the next loop, make a single crochet, and then we're just going to join in the top loops of the next single crochet with a single crochet. We're not going to join with a slip stitch, and then we're going to make one more single crochet in there, and then continue around single crocheting until you get to the last loop right over here, and we'll make 2 single crochet in that stitch right there. Alright, so let's make our 2 single crochet over here in the same stitch. And where you do this is you know, going to depend on where, you know, like how your thumb is formed and what's comfortable to you. So from here, you're just going to continue single crocheting around until your thumb hole is the size that you want, and then finish it off with an invisible close. For the invisible close, you're going to have your yarn snipped and your needle threaded. Skip the next stitch, insert your needle through the front loops of the next stitch and back through the stitch that you were just finishing. Okay? And then of course you're going to go ahead and tie that off. Alright, so our thumb is formed, and now we're ready to do the top. We're going to close off the top. So we're just going to insert your hook into a vertical bar, a horizontal loop, top, pick up a loop, and then chain 1. And we're going to single crochet in the vertical bar and horizontal loop all the way around. This prevents a gap from forming at the top. I know some of you have had questions about gaps, and I haven't answered some of them. I'm answering this one now, and hopefully you're watching if you had that question. All right, so go ahead and continue around, and we will finish off. Okay, let's close our item. Oops. Go ahead and weave in your ends. Alright, it's official. We are done. Alright, you guys, I hope that this video helps improve your Tunisian crochet skills, and as always, I love hanging out with you. Alright, please leave me a question or comment, and I will chit chat with you guys in the very near future. Peace out.